Today we're going to talk about 10 ways to defend a speeding ticket. Hello everyone, I'm attorney Joe Pometto, Joe the lawyer, founding partner of Joe Pometto Law here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And today I want to give you some tips on how to defend a speeding ticket. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. I would suggest sharing this video. This is some practical knowledge that your friends, family, everybody you know may benefit from. So let's talk about 10 ways to defend a speeding ticket. Number one, a reduction in speed. This is something I work out for many of my clients. What you want to do when you get a citation is plead not guilty. Doesn't matter if you think you were speeding, okay, or even if you admitted to the officer or state trooper you were speeding. Plead not guilty and schedule a hearing. You can then go to the hearing. You can talk to the judge. You can talk to the officer. You might have been clocked at 20 miles per hour over, but the judge may look at your record and give you 5 miles per hour over or a reduced speed. This can mean a lower fine and less points on your license. Number two, a substitute charge. Sometimes if a person has a perfect record, the officer and or the trooper will give you a substitute charge. What do I mean by that? You've been charged with speeding. Well, there are non-moving violations out there which do not carry points on your license and also come with a reduction in fine. The judge or the officer at the hearing may decide to do that for you depending on what your reason was for speeding, depending on your prior record, and depending on whether or not you have an attorney. That's a much better result than getting a moving violation which can affect your insurance and or a commercial driver's license more than a non-moving violation would. Number three, dismissal upon payment. Some of my clients come to me, they have a commercial driver's license, they drive for work, they got clocked for speeding, and they want to not have a moving violation or no violation at all. This isn't always achievable, but some judges will allow a person to pay a fine, and in exchange the charge gets dismissed. Also, you may be able to do community service or a safe driving class in exchange for a complete dismissal. You can then expunge the offense and it can't even be found on public record searches. Number four, the officer doesn't show. Don't rely on this, and this doesn't happen often, but if the officer doesn't show, sometimes once, sometimes 2 times, the judge may dismiss the case outright. This isn't something I rely on, but this is a reason for you to plead not guilty when you get your citation and schedule a hearing and go in and do your best, see what happens. Bring an attorney. It always helps. Number 5. Radar must be properly calibrated. So this is more of a true defense to a speeding ticket where you're saying I wasn't actually speeding or the officer can't prove that I was speeding. All radar equipment used by police officers and state troopers must be properly calibrated. This information is going to be on the citation itself, at least in Pennsylvania, but you can also subpoena or request additional information before your hearing is scheduled. If the calibration is not proper for that particular model, then the officer may not be able to use that as evidence against you in a trial. Number 6, improperly posted signage. Speed limits must be properly posted at certain intervals. If they are not, then you haven't been warned of the speed limit, and the officer can't find you guilty of violating the speed limit. If you believe this is the case, you want to go back, track your route, take photos of where those signs were, and bring them to your lawyer to defend your case. You can win a case like this. Number 7, an inaccurate speedometer. So many clients will come to me and say my speedometer was different. If that's the case, you can actually take your vehicle and your speedometer to a mechanic and you can get a written opinion or a printout showing that your speedometer was not working at the time that you were driving. This may not beat the ticket completely. However, it could result in a reduction if the officer and the judge are giving you a hard time about that at the outset of the case. Number 8, you are driving with the flow of traffic. I hear this often. People come to me, they say, Joe, I was driving, but there were 2 or 3 cars in front of me, or all the cars around me were doing the same speed as me, if not faster. Well, this isn't a true defense to a speeding ticket. However, this can be used to help negotiate some of those options I talked about at the beginning, such as a reduction in speed or perhaps payment of the fine in exchange for a dismissal. This is mitigating evidence. It shows, well, I was speeding, but I had a good reason for doing it. It's not the greatest reason, but it can be useful when you tell a judge or a trooper this, especially if you have a clean driving record. Number 9, you were being tailgated. Just like number 8, this is not a true defense, but if a car was up on your rear tailgating you, okay, and you were speeding just to get out of that situation, an officer may sympathize with you. They may give you a reduction or a substitute charge for that reason, depending on the situation. Again, the officer was there, so he or she is likely going to have some input at the same time. Number 10. Not used to the car. I hear this a lot. People get speeding tickets driving a friend or a parent's car. They get speeding tickets driving a rental car because they're not used to it. And as a driver, as most people know, that's an easy mistake to make, especially when it's the first time you're driving the vehicle. You're not used to the pedal or the exact feel of that car. This can be used to mitigate the ultimate speeding ticket or to get you a substitute charge. One last thing, those were the 10 reasons. One last thing on top of that is the best thing is a clean driving record. That's why it's important for you to fight every single ticket. I mean, if you get one ticket every 10 years, you know, maybe not that big a deal, but you want to defend, in my opinion, you want to defend every single ticket. Keep your driving record as clean as possible, because if you ever do get a serious speeding ticket, say a really fast mile per hour, the thing that's going to help you the most, perhaps more than anything I stated, is having a pristine, clear driving record. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Joe Pometto, a local Pittsburgh attorney, Joe the lawyer, founding partner of Joe Pometto Law. If you liked this video and you thought it was useful, share it. Send it in a Facebook message. Put it on Facebook. Send it in an email. This will help people. This is very useful information. Thank you.